Hello everybody, welcome back to some more Planet Coaster. Remember to leave a like if you are enjoying the series and want to continue to see more on the channel. Today we are working on Adventureland area again, I guess. I don't really have a name for it. I need a better name, like Jungle Land or something like that, because we ended up going with the whole jungle theme, as you'll see in this video. But right now I wanted to work on some more buildings just kind of around the area. So we have a little drink, I think it's a drink stand, right? Pretty sure it's a drink stand. So we place it there, start wrapping around, and for this design what I wanted to do was kind of make it like a stilted building. So it's high up on stilts, kind of off the ground. So we raised it up there, we have a little path going up that I kind of wanted to make it look like there's some sort of boardwalk or something along the side there. Like I'm sure you've seen things like that in like some sort of jungle or bayou house, because they're raised up off the ground in case of floods and things like that, levees breaking. All sorts of things. So then we're just going with the same sort of style roof that we used on the Jungle Cruise ride. Just using those little shack pieces, trying to make a little roof there. Looks pretty nice. Mixed it up a little bit so we weren't just using the same pattern over and over again. And then just adding some more supports. We took the little fence pieces, added them over there. Was this part? I forgot. Yeah. I was having a real hard time selecting it just because it was layered on top of the rest of the building. So you can see me like trying to delete that bottom part. I'm like, why won't it go away? It's driving me crazy. Then I ended up just deleting the whole thing and just placing the fence pieces manually instead of just copying and pasting. Ended up being a lot more efficient. And it looks a little nicer because I have a little bit more control over what I'm doing as opposed to just copying and pasting the same pieces over and over again, and adds a little bit of variety. Things like that. Doesn't look too shabby. Just adding a little fence there. Kind of, again, we're just trying to make it look like a it's not a balcony. What is that? I can't think of the word. You know, when they kind of just have... It's gonna drive me crazy. Like, maybe like a porch? Yeah, I guess porch would be the better word. That's what I'm trying to think of. Maybe porch. Alright, so we had a door there. And I like how it just pierced through the fence like that. It looks pretty cool. And some windows, trying to make it look like a little shack or house out in the desert. Not the desert, in the jungle or in the bayou. I'm getting sort of like a swamp house feeling from this. Then just decorating the area up a bit, starting with some palm trees and some rocks. I eventually do remove the palm tree out front just because it does kind of cover the house a little bit too much, and I'd rather just have it shown. And filling in the area with my favorite thing in the game, those bushes. I love me some bushes. I just don't, you know how much, everyone knows how much I hate just the flat grass in this game. It drives me crazy. It's so boring. And that's the biggest thing about people, because people say like, oh, how are you so creative? How are you coming up with this stuff? I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I have gone comments like that. You'll see them. And it's basically comes down to breaking up the grid that the game wants you to use and breaking up any sort of flat surfaces. Flat surfaces look very plain. They don't look very natural, realistic. In some cases they do, like for the future land, that we definitely had a lot of flat surfaces because it is a bit more future look, but when we're trying to do like the jungle or the pirate themes and things like that, definitely want to break up the flatness of everything. And over here I decided to want another building, so we put a bathroom. Why not? Make a big old bathroom. And I kind of wanted to go with a more of a traditional, it's not really traditional, but you know the kind of design when houses have their points like that? I don't know architectural terms. This is just like when I play BeamNG and I fail to say anything correct about cars because I don't know car terms or anything like that. And I was trying to make a wall with this. It didn't really work too well just because the wooden posts out of the top would be at a weird angle. So we just went with our tried and true method of using these little wood pieces. Kind of just fill it in all nicely. Getting in there. It looks so much better when that's filled in. It actually looks like a real structure. Then just fill in the roof there. Get some wood panels. Looks very nice. I like it. This one I wasn't really liking, like, but halfway through the build of this one, I was like, okay, it's starting to look good. Initially, I wasn't really a big fan, especially when we start getting all dressed up and filled out. Comes together a lot. That's something I always say in this game, where I start building something, I'm like, I have an idea, I start building something, and I'm like, meh, that doesn't look very good. But then I start adding more detail in the surrounding areas and making it feel like an actual part of its own environment. I'm like, okay, this is freaking sweet. This is the perfect example of that. I did not like it up until right about this point where I actually filled all the stuff in and started looking like an actual structure. Was I thinking, okay, I can dig it. I'm just trying to fiddle around, find some more things to add. Just some structures there. And then some tiki torches, which I think eventually do remove. We grab the fence. Start adding it there. I really like the look of this fence. I may go and do something similar in the Western world, just because I do like the idea of having the paths fenced in. Because in a place like this, you wouldn't really have paths not fenced in, because you don't want guests just wandering around. You direct the guests like cattle. They moo and walk around the park. Oh, I really like this touch, adding those lights up there. I think it looks really cool. We did add that big kind of sail mast to the side there, kind of going a little piratey, but again, that's okay. Time to add some more scenery and decorations and stuff. Just add that little clock tower, or the bell tower thing. Add some bushes. Bush. I wish I had a bush brush. A bush brush would be better. a better bush brush. Booyah! Sorry. I just like alliteration. A better bush brush. There we go. And using the same method of starting low and then just piling things up on top. Taller and taller foliage. Taller and taller trees and bushes and things like that. Definitely makes things feel a little bit more full. Because if you look at the other parts of the park where I just put like the sycamore trees and stuff, and there's nothing else on the ground around them, it's like, it just feels like these trees are randomly planted. This actually feels like a jungle or something that's kind of overgrown and run amok. I love the look of the fences. So there's just something about adding that just makes everything feel so much more structured and secure. I love it. Look at that. So cool. Definitely feels a lot more like a theme park. I mean, if you go to a theme park, like I've said before, pretty much should be walls and fences everywhere. There we go. And now we got 3 nice looking shack buildings. So that's something I try and do in these areas where you want a theme, but you don't want just the same thing copy and pasted, but you do want things to be related thematically. So that's why I like this, because through the use of those straw buildings or the straw roofs and then the same structure style, we're able to make a cohesive area that feels very similar. Making a save real quick because the game did crash earlier, and then working on a new coaster. And this coaster is a little different. I didn't like using the race car, but I wanted the like hydraulic launch system where it just launches immediately. And the race car roller coaster is the only one that has it, unfortunately. So yeah, it kind of goes up there, it sits there for a second, then launches off. Because I basically the plan for there's a plan for this coaster and what we're gonna do with it. And in order for that plan to work, I needed it in a really tight and compact area, just real close together. So we just use this coaster to just launch it off immediately without having to use like a chain lift, and then just basically have it twist and turn inside of itself. It's a little fast and some of the turns are a little bit sharp, but all in all I think it comes out okay, especially with what we do with it. I'm really excited of what we're doing with this coaster. I don't want to spoil anything right now, but it looks pretty cool. And then just continuing to fill it in, going up and down. Luckily, since we didn't have to use a chain lift, it just launches immediately. So there you go. Kind of goes all the way around. And it's already back in. It's not a super long coaster, but I needed it to fit in this space. And then to actually design its housing, we take it over here just because it's easier to work in the larger areas. Excuse me. And then we start on the housing structure. And I don't know why I'm worried about spoilers. Frankly, because if you saw the thumbnail to this, which I'm probably going to make as this structure, you already know what's going to happen. So we're building a large, like, Mayan-inspired temple or pyramid. It's pretty massive. It took a long time, and I do actually cut quite a bit out of this, just because I knew it would be boring to watch, but I'm just going to show you guys up until a point where you understand what I'm doing. So basically, I just lay out the walls. I think it was like a 21 by 21. And so we have the middle block just out, just so we can keep a track of where the middle is. And then eventually I do remember to use the auto stacking feature. So we're basically going to do 2 up, 1 over, 2 up, 1 over, 2 up, 1 over, and then a roof. So kind of a steep design. It would have been cooler to do an actual pyramid where it was like 1 up, or it's blocks of 1 at a time. But that would have been too large of a footprint. And if we had started with this footprint, it would actually intersect with the coaster. So by going up 2 every time, we're actually able to make it a little bit taller and fill it in quite a bit nicer. So there we go. We have the first layer down, and then we're just going to start on the second layer. And I'm still not using the auto stack feature. I don't know why. It's basically where you click it twice. There we go. Now I remembered. It's a lot faster. And then here I was like, okay, I don't want you guys to have to watch this, so I'm just going to complete this whole step just to hurry up and get it done with, just so you can see what I'm doing. So we basically just fill that up, there, and then another roof, And one more. Yep, there we go. Okay. And that's basically going to be the total height. So we're going to cut into a completed one. There we go. Looking pretty sweet. Just moving the entry and exit points, covering up those holes. Looking pretty cool, if you ask me. And then just doing some more detailing all the way around. Just some like little stone pieces on the bottom just to give it a little bit more of a base feel. I don't know, I thought it looked pretty good. I like those little details, like little trim. Even though in the I just realized, I think we like covered the entire bottom with bushes in the end, so you don't even really see those, but whatever. You know, that's okay. Then just filling in, adding some arches, things like that. I like these things. I wish they actually melded together better. Like, if they were just like continuous pieces, but I ended up deciding not to do that. And then I decided to move it back here. And we did have some trouble just kind of fiddling around here, trying to figure out a good place for it, as well as a place where the coaster would actually fit inside of it. But it looks really cool in that area. It's massive. But I think it really pulls together Adventureland or Jungle Land, or I don't know what to call it. Not entirely sure. And then I decided, okay, we actually gotta fix these cliffs a little bit because they're pushing out a little bit too much. So I'm flattening the area, pushing back the tops of the cliff. And I get back. I need some room. Gotta put my big old coaster pyramid down. And then just making sure it's not actually intersecting with any of the buildings in Futureland. I don't want to just call this like Adventureland because we already have Futureland and we already have Westworld. We need a different name for this. I don't know. You guys think of one. I'm thinking of all this crap. You guys can think of a name, okay? Something like that. At some point we eventually do get the coaster locked in. Yep, there we go. And it kind of loops around. So we have our entryway and exits. And so we just gotta grab these just kind of very random and organic shapes. Luckily we did get it in there because normally I do like the pass on like a grid system, but for this one I wanted to just kind of winding its way through the park. There we go. Got the paths all set up. And I think I tested the coaster. No, here we're painting it. So I don't know a simpler way to like select all the track pieces. It's a little weird. So I just have to like basically do click plus there, and so it selects all the pieces, but I don't know. And for the colors I decided to go with like a green and black basically. I think it ends up looking really cool. We actually end up adding some green lights at the end, which make it look pretty fantastic. Especially at night. This coaster looks awesome at night. I can't wait to show you guys. There we go. Got the coaster in there. Adding some of these little light things. I don't know if they're like candles and bags or something, but they're pretty cool. I always like them. So I definitely like using them a lot. Making sure those are all nice and even. And then we end up painting the ground on the inside. Just because I didn't like just the grass everywhere. So we ended up going with like a darker color. Just because it's supposed to be like inside of a pyramid. It is overgrown a lot, so we're going to be adding a lot of plants and things like that, and some campsites. Just kind of make it seem like it's an ancient overgrown temple that someone's like excavating or exploring, so there's some campsites. Maybe it's the same Brits that are over on the Jungle Cruise ride. Maybe this is where they got stranded or something like that. And then just covering this with rocks, just because I didn't really want to make like a structure here. I'd rather just kind of have it sitting on a bed of rocks or something like that. But yeah, there we go. And someone said I can change the color of the cars on the coaster. I haven't seen how to do that. Like, I was searching, so if any of you know how, definitely let me know. You can change the color of the tracks. I just don't think there's a way to color the cars. I don't think that person knew what they were talking about. Yeah, and someone kept saying, like, oh, why don't you just use the actual water in the game? Like last time when I was trying to make water, and I was like, well, like I said several times in the video, there isn't water in the game. And they go, oh, I thought there was. I'm like, I said like 10 times in the freaking video that there is no water in the game. You're like, why don't you just use the water? You're just not a good listener. Or do you think I'm just that stupid? It's literally my job to play video games. Like, for the most part, I know what I'm doing. Like, sure, there may be, like, technical reasons or, like, skill-based reasons I'm not very good, but I generally keep up to date with the goings-ons in development of games. Hopefully those kind of features will be added soon, as well as some more color variation. And then just adding some bushes on the outside. Filling out. Again, bushes everywhere. I want a bush brush. Whatever. It never looks good at this stage. I feel like that's everything I build. I've said that several times in this video, but I just don't often think things look good while I'm building them, but I'm generally happy with the end results. most things in the park. Maybe the first couple things in this park I wasn't really happy with because I really wasn't exploring the full features of the game yet. I don't know. And then just adding the fence all the way through there. Fencing off. Even this little area, the fences help everything seem a little bit more self-contained, in my opinion. And then just doing some detailing inside the pyramid. We got some campsites and some fires all around it. Just because I like those, because the fires actually look pretty cool, and they kick off quite a bit of light, a lot more compared to the tiki torches or things like that. And then just took the fences in there, just added some more in here, just trying to make that look a little nicer, or maybe like an actual contained structure or something along those lines. I just don't like having those blank edges, and I didn't want to just have rocks everywhere, but came out looking pretty cool. And then the green lights. Glad I went with the green. You'll see in the flyby at night that it looks pretty cool. Very cool. And then I went off camera and added a whole bunch of tiki torches all along the outside. You'll see that at the end here. We're gonna do like a flyby of the entire jungle area. Right now, I was pretty proud of this. So there we have the drink stand, looking pretty cool. I like the multi-level design. I like having. That's something I need to use more in my future parks, is actual multi-level designs. And then we have the Jungle Cruise ride. Gonna fly in there real quick. I still love that entrance. It looks so cool. Right in between the lamps, under the stone arches. Gives you a nice little view of that area and the little pond we have there. With the quote-unquote water. Not actually water. I am aware of that. Then just exiting that ride. Going over that campsite. Ooh, it's hot. Very hot. And the sun's starting to come up right now, so inside the pyramid, you're going to start getting some of those red light catches. Or see how it's catching the red light, even though it's inside. The light system isn't that great in this game, especially with blocking with shadows and everything, but coaster looks pretty cool. You got a good timing right there. Flying right by the coaster. Here it comes again. Whoop. There we are. And then exiting the bath. Awesome. Well, that's going to be it for this episode of Planet Coaster, guys. Remember to leave a like if you did enjoy, and if you want to see some more in the future. Yeah, let me know if you have any suggestions for names, new themed areas, things like that. I'll see you next time. Bye.